as the ticking of a clock. But what if we saw it differently? As a journey to strengthen our mind, body, and spirits. A time to rewrite the narrative with vitality and grace. Today, in this wonderful 6th edition of Orange City Literature Festival, we celebrate this perspective and so much more. This is Akash Kumar, thrilled to welcome you all to this vibrant afternoon. Brought to you by the SGR Foundation in association with Sadabai Raisoni Women's College and powered by Raisoni Education. Now, suffering can happen to anyone, even a small child. As long as we have a mind and a body, there will always be suffering. The body causes pain, and that pain affects the mind, leading to emotional distress. Releasing pain from the body is deeply connected to emotional well-being. Highlighting the importance of addressing both physical and emotional health together, this session is dedicated to exploring a powerful topic, holistic wellness, the path to emotional and physical well-being. And who better to guide us than our speaker, Dr. Rachna Chhachhi. Can we all have a round of applause for her? Dr. Rachna is a globally celebrated expert in cancer, epigenetics, and nutrition. A cancer expert from Johns Hopkins University and a PhD. She has helped countless individuals heal from life-threatening disease. Her work spans across 27 countries. Her non-profit Kindness Practice Foundation is a beacon of hope for raising awareness about mental health, nutrition, and cancer. She has authored 4 books, each providing invaluable insights into healing and wellness. Her 5th book, focusing on autoimmune healing, will be published by HarperCollins in January 2025. Known to her followers as Rachna Restores, she reminds us that with the right approach, even seemingly impossible can be overcome. Moderating the session is the dynamic Ms. Priyanka Kothari. Can we have a round of applause for her? She is a cosmetic technology graduate, skincare educator, a creative writing tutor, actively engaged with NGOs like CMCA, Akshar and Pranav. She works to promote civic awareness and education. She is also a patron of Vidarbha Literary Festival and collaborates with Prabha Khetan Foundation to support literature and art. Her dedication to fostering creativity and meaningful dialogues makes her the perfect person to lead this conversation. So I beseech our guests to take on this session for 40 wonderful minutes. The stage is yours. Can we have a round of applause again? Thank you so much.
I really want to congratulate you for this amazing work that you're doing. Like, you have more success than the clinical or the doctors, because healing and reversing cancer is something allopathy is still not being able to do. So I think, like, I'm sure for those people you are God sent. So let us start with, why did you get into this? I know you're in a really nice corporate job and were like doing amazing. Why move to this?
I was heading business development for a Fortune 50 company, and everyone can hear me? And I was struck by rheumatoid arthritis, which is an incurable autoimmune condition. So from being a globe-trotting senior executive who seemingly had it all, I was bedridden, and I had deformities. Clinically, a large percentage of my joints are from the scans, they're completely destroyed. So my wrists, my right knee, my left ankle, elbow, and as per orthopedics, as per rheumatologists, I'm not supposed to be walking. I'm not supposed to be I'm supposed to be bedridden.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah. So that changed the course of my life, and there were a couple of incidents which are there in my first book, Restore, and the new book that's coming out, Healing Autoimmune Conditions, which made me angry at the medical system, which made me guilty and sad at seeing my 8-year-old daughter crying and not being able to hug me because I had so much pain. She's sitting here now, she works with me. So my drivers were very different, and there was one turning point where the doctor injected me with steroid injections in each of my knuckles and wrists. There were 13 injections in 1 hour, and I passed out for 3 days. There was no anesthesia. And after that, the first thing I did when I came around was flush down the chemotherapy drugs I was on and immunosuppressants. That's what they use for autoimmune conditions. So I had no way back. I had to only find a path in front. I think the universe had my back. There was a lot of hit and try, and I believe this for each one of the patients I have healed, that if you believe you will heal, the universe will have your back. Send that energy out.
That's a real nice message. Like, we should believe.
Yeah.
And hope. Never give up hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, now that you've been talking about holistic approach. So, can you tell us what is your take or how you go about? Like, there are a lot of people who are talking about holistic approach. Everybody has their own way. What is your take, and what is your way of emotional, mental, and physical holistic approach towards any disease?
So I have a lot of patients who are doctors, and they tell me that medical science is limiting and they're trained like mechanics, because they are at the superficial level of here's a problem, and medical science is a reactive science. God bless the doctors, they save our lives in an emergency. A, how do we avoid the emergency is in our control. B, when you have a chronic condition, then repairing the mind and body. You know what a lot of people do in holistic wellness is they will talk about nutrition, or they will talk about mental health, or they will talk about counseling, or they will talk about Ayurveda, massages. They are talking in silos. I am a holistic being, you are a holistic being, you are not a statistic, you are not a case. What we put in our mind is as important as what we put in our body. So my programs are holistic nutrition, which is a combination of physical nutrition, which means what do you put inside your body and how you move, and emotional nutrition, which means what do you put inside your mind and brain. Both the things are going inside, and both the things are creating toxins. On a daily basis, like we go to the washroom to clear our toxins and we have a bath to cleanse ourselves, if we clear out our emotional toxins, and I teach certain techniques to clear out emotional toxins along with the physical nutrition for the physical toxins. So that consistency over a period of a few months, somebody will sign up with me, my program is 4 to 6 months. When you give that consistency, it's amazing how within a 30-day span, you see the inflammation markers, cancer markers crashing down, which were high after chemotherapy, after surgery, and the doctors tell the patient that, this is how it's going to be, our treatment is complete. And now they are understanding. So we work with a lot of oncologists as part of the foundation, and they stand on the stage with us and they say that you need both. You don't just need surgery and chemotherapy, you just need, holistic nutrition. When you use holistic nutrition, your side effects of chemo reduce, your recovery improves, and the most important thing that happens is 50% of cases come back. 50% of patients have cancer recurrence. So the most important thing that my healing does is to reduce those chances of recurrence.
Even that's very important. Our lifespans has increased so much, so there's this more probability. The biggest take actually, the way you put it and the perspective, my perspective, like you just mentioned, that allopathy is an emergency, but we take allopathy as a first mode. First, and you are more like preventive, and your approach is more like curative and preventive. So, but you must be having like lot of people must be skeptical ki, because most of us, all of us have this blind faith on allopathy, even if we are the country of Ayurveda and yoga and good diet and good dincharya and everything, but we still will believe. So how do you deal with that? Matlab, there is a thing that goes in Delhi ki kuch nahi ho raha hai to Rachna ke paas jao. So Rachna restores everything, but you get people only after a while, like, right? So how do you deal with this? I mean, how has that journey been? Because there are a lot of kids here and probably they want to get into healing and wellness, and that is one thing that probably stops them, ki pata nahi people will believe me or not, So how do you deal with that, and how do you suggest anybody goes about it?
So the first thing that you have to do is believe in it yourself.
As much.
If it doesn't come naturally to you to believe in it, and it doesn't show in your eyes, in your face, and your body language, the other person is not going to trust you. I have a backstory, I have a back journey which is painful, full of suffering. Why? Because my body was neglected. When we look after our body, that's when we reduce the mental health suffering. Initially, it's been a very long time that somebody was skeptical about me, because it's been 15 years. And but when people were skeptical about me, I would just put my head down and do my work. My focus was my niche. I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor. So I was very clear that people are suffering from chronic conditions. I'm going to help them. And I didn't lose that focus. So find your niche as per what you're passionate about. Don't do it because you'll earn money. Money will automatically come if you do good work. But build your reputation, build your credibility on the basis of your passion, single-minded focus, and believe in what you do.
And also you have been learning, you have been doing a lot of courses, and ma'am has been presenting papers, scientific papers also. So it's just not something hawa mein ki main heal ho gayi to main sabko heal karungi. So we should not have that approach. So I'm talking because there's a lot of actually quackery also happening in the name of wellness. There's a lot of misinformation that is happening. So we should look at this is holistic. Like, not two things is holistic. What ma'am is doing, like everything. So when you take a holistic approach, we should look up for something what ma'am is doing, or we should approach somebody her or somebody who actually means what is holistic.
So I have a lot of people who come to me who have been to the supposedly best healers, best doctors globally. I work across 27 countries, and they are not okay. So everyone realizes their path, and I always say this at every forum that I can. Go to the website, do some Google searches, go to the social media, find the case studies of real people, find the qualifications. My daughter was in class 7 when I did my first restudying, and there are pictures of her and me studying together, and she's standing here. She used to tell me, oh, now you know how it is, to study for exams. So she was 12.
I know.
Yeah, 11. So find out the credibility of the person, whoever you want to go to. You must trust. You're trusting the person with the most important thing in your life.
Yeah, so because after COVID, I think there is like a big boom in wellness, and it's very obvious that we get carried away. It's not like, it's just human, and jo aapko milta hai sabse pehle, you're so desperate, because COVID has taught us this, that the body is very important. So how things changed after COVID for you? Like, was there a pre-COVID and a post-COVID change in mindset of people? Were they more receptive or not receptive? They were like more allopathy, not allopathy?
So as a practitioner, not much changed, because I was already doing this pre-COVID. what is sad is people have forgotten the lessons of COVID.
Yes.
You know, when you come home, wash your hands. People have forgotten how to do that. That's what brings disease into the house. Other simple habits like I used to tell people during COVID, and even today I tell people, do you remember how precious oxygen cylinders were and how many people we lost because of that? There is natural oxygenation through deep breathing, and I teach the pranayams to a lot of my patients. Oxygenate yourself. Keep the 24-hour oxygen-giving plants in your house. They are not expensive. Create your own haven of oxygen. People forgot that, it's precious. So let's go back to those basics, because more oxygen means less inflammation in the body clinically.
So more breath work is
a lot of breath
more
work,
important.
Yeah.
And
we were doing this workshop with CISF, with the Mumbai Airport security guys. They are all strong and very fit and everything. And we made them do pranayam. And there, it was like a 3-4 minute pranayam, and it was like their entire expression changed, because it brings in so much calmness.
Definitely. I mean, हमने COVID से मतलब सीखा that, everybody went to that YOLO, कि you live only once. But this is the thing we should have also carried. So there's one thing which was really intrigued me. Now everybody talks about mental health. And thankfully they talk about it. And it's something which we had been neglecting as a world, like all of us. So I really got intrigued by a word that you've written, neuron remapping. So can you explain what and how can we do that?
So the brain is an organ like any other organ, right? The brain is not the mind. The mind is not an organ. But the mind directs the brain and trains the brain. And our body is as flexible as our mind can make it. So, if I am doing my yoga, traveling across the world, doing a jog with my so-called deformed and, empty joints, it's because of the power of the mind, right? So when you change the way you think, your perspective, and you put in what you want as your goal, you manifest that goal, the brain starts changing. The brain has neuroplasticity. So the brain starts changing its neural pathways. So when the brain changes the neural pathways to calmness, unhurry, then there is something known as brain inflammation that starts dying out. The brain starts sending a message of calmness to the body. The brain is our supercomputer. It's connected to the gut through the vagus nerve. And the message to the cells of the body is everything is fine. When the cells of the body receive that message, the healing starts getting triggered. Every word that I've said here is scientifically proven.
Yeah, so I think it all comes back to holistic approach. No body part is separate. Like you said, gut. So then the nutrition comes. You said about inflammation or calmness, that's where the pranayama meditation and the breath work comes. So, I was going through the book. So how can, let us start with the book about cancer. So how easy or how difficult is, or how effective, how do you go about somebody who's just out of chemotherapy? I just want, so that people who pick up the books, ma'am has a pura step, so you can just pick up a book and just start whatever she is doing. So let us just break down the books. So first, to break down the first book, if you are suffering, how do we go about this book? I have this book and I want to do what you have suggested. What will you tell the person कि ये book उठा रहे हो, you कर रहे हो, तो ये चीज़ ध्यान रखना. That, keep in mind that don't do this, or how do you go about this book?
So in cancer healing, it's not that people come to me after chemo. They come to me, some people come to me at diagnosis. They have the best outcomes. because when the surgery, chemotherapy, along with supporting their body with holistic nutrition and breath work is happening, the healing is very fast.
Definitely.
Then some of them come to me after chemotherapy. Like there's this case of a triple negative 31-year-old. We just put it up on our social media. Breast cancer. She came to me after surgery and chemotherapy, but not radiation. She was getting her radiation done, and radiation increases chances of secondary cancers a few years later. She was very clear that she didn't want recurrence. So there are those people also who come to me. And then now there are some people who are coming for preventing cancers. If you are looking at preventing cancer, there are two things to keep in mind. Very, very simple. Keep an eye on your inflammation markers, because an inflammatory environment in the body triggers cancer markers and cancer activity.
So that's your blood report.
That's your blood report. And inflammation is triggered by stress. Okay, so a large part of inflammation gets triggered by stress. Yes, of course, it gets triggered by obesity, by eating the wrong kinds of foods. 70% of cancers are lifestyle-related cancers. Not exercising or over-exercising, both cause oxidative stress, which increase inflammation. So keep inflammation in control with specific habits for moderation, balance. Don't go overboard with exercise. Don't not exercise and keep sitting. Do moderate exercise. Stretch yourself. Stretch your muscles, because the stress gets collected in the fascia. Fascia is, you've got your bone, you've got your muscle, and your fascia supports it. So the stress gets collected in fascia. You'll get to know, even if you don't recognize stress, because the brain is 90% subconscious, 10% conscious, you will get signs like unexplained pains, feeling tired even after sleeping for 8 hours, hair loss, poor skin. Poor skin is a gut, and Priyanka, you know this better. If your gut is healthy, your skin will be good. If your gut is inflamed, your skin issues will be there. And when I say the gut, for women, there's a lot in the gut. You've got your hormones in the gut. You've got the cortisol, you've got the serotonin. These are all mental health markers, but they're all produced in the gut. Then we've got our major organs, the uterus and ovaries in the gut. So specifically for women, because a larger population here I'm seeing is women, keeping your gut healed, so watch out for bloating, constipation, feeling irritable. So these are the things that are the signs of internal inflammation. So number one for preventing is look out for the signs and get on an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. The simplest way to get on an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, and I'm coming to the second, is no matter what you eat, 50% of your meal should be vegetables. It's the powerhouse of anti-cancer nutrients. Nobody eats vegetables as 50%. People eat vegetables like chutney. Itna sabzi liya, फिर इतना दाल लिया, फिर एक रोटी लिया, फिर इतना चावल लिया. Look at your carbohydrates. Then there are people who say, okay, keto is good, I will go on keto. Then they will have more protein and no vegetables, which damages the kidneys and hence causes inflammation. So balance. You want to eat, do a keto, 50% is vegetables. The other 50% can be protein or carbohydrates as per whatever you eat. So focus on those two things and you will prevent your risk of cancer. The third thing which will prevent your risk of cancer is your breath, your pran. Very simply. Slow it down. Monitor your breath. When you monitor what is your resting on an average day and what is your highest when you're not exercising, it will give you a sign of your pran. The longer our breaths, the longer our lifespan. Mine is 59, resting.
Oh, that's very good, actually.
Yeah, it is. For my age, it's very good for my heart health.
Yeah, that's so nice. I mean, I don't know if, but that's quite a low thing. So, like, I see a lot of youngsters, and I don't mean youngsters only, but they just struck me. How much have you seen, how many younger, like, is over the year, the cancer patient, are they getting younger? And is the lifestyle also a bad lifestyle or a lifestyle mistake? Also includes alcohol and smoking. Is it like कि उनको ज़्यादा होता है? Because there are a lot of people, they'll say कि हम तो सब कुछ करते हैं, हमको कुछ नहीं होता, उसने कुछ नहीं किया, उसको कैंसर हो गया. So there's like, what is your observation and the bunch of people that you have treated?
So clinically, yes, alcohol, smoking increase the risk of
Yeah,
cancer. Tobacco consumption increases the risk of cancer. Different kinds of mouth cancers are the highest in India. India is number one in mouth cancers and in breast cancer. And Kerala and the Northeast have the highest rates for mouth cancers. So that is a data that we give. Having said that, when I look at some people who have smoked but quit smoking, our mind and body are meant to heal. The day you give up a bad habit and you pick up a good habit to nourish and nurture yourself, mind, body, your body starts healing. So your homeostasis changes from ill to well. So start doing that. Coming to the age group, yes, I am seeing a lot of younger patients coming, 27-year-old. I treated a 6-year-old. I just told you about a 31-year-old. But, all that aside, my youngest patient was my father. He was 75 when I treated him, young at heart. And he had stage 3 prostate cancer metastasized to the liver. 45 days later, his reports were fine.
45?
For 45 days later, the clinical markers for prostate cancer and inflammation markers were fine. He passed away this January at the age of 85 with the best reports and no cancer for 10 years. And the only reason that he went was because mom passed away a couple of years ago, and he just lost the will to live because of...
That happens. But that's very, I mean, anybody who has a cancer patient at home can relate to this, that, or people who have lost. I mean, now you can think that probably they could have been saved because now it's so prevalent. So coming to your second book, Alive, now that has, like I said, that's a book I read thoroughly, and the neuron mapping. But now I want you to say कि आपने वो that 4-month diet, like please, I think, pick up at least 2 of her books. This book is for the no, I mean, I like at least ये तो आप Alive ले लो, because ये तो it's for everybody. She has half of the book is about exactly आपको first week में क्या करना है, first day में क्या करना है, then second, then there's a restorative phase, and then there is a maintenance phase. She's just like, and then she's given you recipes. I mean, anybody who's gone through this, when they want to get into healthy habits, you need these recipes, क्योंकि आपको लगता है कि मैं नहीं खाऊंगी, फिर जब बनाने गए तो फिर वही चीज़ें दिखती है. So this book is like a handbook when you want to just reverse everything, what I think. So if somebody, all of us are picking up this book, or like I have picked up this book and I want to follow this, what is one thing you say ki just keep in mind when you do this so that this works for you?
So the concept behind Alive was very different from my other books. I interviewed people of all age groups who had at least one bad habit, and they were really healthy. So I wanted to,
yeah. I forgot to mention that. Yeah. That's like she's interviewed people with very okayish, not so good
they
lifestyles.
Were not like,
not the like how the textbook description of a good lifestyle, but still they were very healthy even at a very later age. So she's interviewed and followed these 50 people. Yeah.
So the reason I did this was that a lot of us have fear about disease. A lot of us think it is a very difficult path. So I interviewed an 89-year-old in Boston. I interviewed an 89-year-old in Uttar Pradesh. I interviewed a 54-year-old in France, and I interviewed a 26-year-old in India and also in Europe. So, in totality, I must have interviewed a little over 100 people, but about 40 of them are in this book. In some way or the other, their learnings are there. All of them had one or two bad habits. Like the 89-year-old, both of them actually enjoy their drink. Now, alcohol, you can get cancer. These guys are healthy, all their reports are fine. And they will have 2 drinks every day. So there is other stuff that they are doing which is healthy. Most important is response to stress. When your response to stress is good, and when I say response to stress, the stress never goes away. But, we can have a response to stress saying, come on, yeah, what is this, and yell at somebody, or we can say, okay, we are calm. Yeah. So when your response to stress through a good lifestyle, through the breath work, becomes calmer, at that stage, a little bit of cheat allowance, it's like a 30-story building under construction. If you go to -30 for the foundation, then a little bit of an earthquake is not going to cause a crack. So if you fix your foundation and take a year over that with this plan that I have got, then you do follow an 80-20 rule. You can prevent disease, which means you can prevent suffering. Ultimately, our suffering comes from our thoughts. Our suffering comes from our pain in the body. All that can be avoided if you adapt to, nourishing both.
So this might look like difficult initially for a person who was like totally not healthy. So what is like utne tak karke dekho, then you'll be like, where are we expecting the changes? When are we expecting the changes?
3 weeks.
3 weeks is when we
You
should at least follow till 3 weeks.
People have seen the change in 7 days.
Of course, I think the weight is
sleeping better gut, higher energy. 2 weeks later, somebody will comment saying, hey, your skin is looking better. What have you been doing? Why? Because your gut is healing.
Lovely. So, like coming to your next book, this book is about lifestyle. So, can you talk about I think this is we have the Shuddh. What is it about? Like
Shuddh is it's a Hindi and Sanskrit word for staying pure. This is our temple. This is because this is what is going to keep us healed. A lot of people think that eating nutritiously is good enough. Have your smoothies, have your vegetables, but in order for nutrients to get absorbed, you need to first release the toxins. So if you don't make space for the nutrients to get absorbed and you have toxins, a lot of people who live healthy also get disease. And toxins are not just physical toxins, they are also emotional toxins. I've had people who are pious, never hurt a soul, eat only home-cooked vegetarian food, get cancer, come to me. Yeah. Because their response to stress is poor. Because they will be thinking, why did this person say this to me? What have I done to him? Or, being petty with some family member. You've got to see you've got one life. Nourish yourself. You'll be happy. When you are happy, you'll have more love to give to your loved ones and people around.
Yeah, actually makes sense. Like you answered that question of mine when people say, okay, I've been doing all the right things, or that person has always been doing the right thing and still they get a cancer or a lifestyle disease.
Or they just, I've had a lot of cases where we've all seen them. Perfectly healthy, senior corporate executive, exercising, eating healthy, collapsed with a heart attack and gone. No coming back.
This has been like
a trend.
This is a new really
And what are they doing? They're sleeping for 4 hours, 5 hours. No, sleep is the universe's way of repairing us. If we don't sleep for 8 hours every night, it's like saying if you don't poop every day, imagine 5 days later how traumatized you're all going to be. Sleep is the same. It's building inflammation. Step by step, there is data. In my first book, Restore, I've done a whole thing on sleep. Sleep causes hormonal issues in women. It causes weight gain. It increases inflammation markers if there is poor sleep. 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Who sleeps for 8 to 9 hours? Come on, come on.
Oh, they're much
No,
younger.
nice,
kids.
very nice.
That's
very
really
nice.
nice.
Good, good. Can we have a round of applause for the ones who sleep for 9 hours?
Probably आपको अभी नहीं लग रहा होगा, but it's a feat. It's a feat when you grow older. So, like I said about, I just lost the track. So, about sleep and about mental health. So, is there now that top of your head, or maybe not top of your head, like you think कि ये nutrient, those are top nutrients which everybody should look up कि मेरे दिन में मैंने ये nutrient proper से लिया है कि नहीं, you know, that top 2 or 3 nutrients which everybody should have irrespective.
Water.
Okay.
Number 1, we are 70% water. Water is a carrier. Water releases toxins. Water reduces pain. Water calms the mind and brain. Water lubricates the gut, so your constipation and bloating get released. But we are not drinking enough water. 1 glass of water every 90 minutes of waking time. Put an alarm on your phone and do that. It's the strongest nutrient to stay healthy because that's 70% of your body. The second is good fat, which people don't eat. Good fat cuts bad fat. Good fat balances female hormones. We get so many cases of hormonal cancers, PCOS, thyroid issues. The good fat is missing. When we say good fat, it is flaxseed oil, extra virgin olive oil, first pressed, avocado, almonds, walnut, all nuts and seeds. People are not having more of these thinking that they are fattening. They will cut your bad fat. They will reduce your cholesterol levels. They will make your liver healthy, specifically if you have fatty liver. So that's the second nutrient people are not having. And the third I've already mentioned, no matter what you eat, 50% vegetables. Yes. I can't emphasize this more, you know. Leafy, whatever in your local market you get leafy greens, wash them well, chop, put them along with a salad, and then make some homemade bhaji. Don't make your homemade bhaji in such a way that you are killing all the nutrients. You know, with this high flame, tadka cook, it just gets destroyed. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One thing also you wrote about not soaking the nuts.
Yeah, yeah. That's a very controversial thing. You know, I keep getting asked all the time because there's so much data that's around it, but I stick to it. Why do we eat almonds? Badam क्यों खाते हैं हम लोग? People say, you know, memory, all that stuff. Yeah, source of protein. Now, when we eat it for iron and memory are water soluble, which means that when you are soaking it, it's gone. So for vegetarians, B12 levels can be high if you don't soak your nuts and if you eat your vegetables. So don't soak your nuts. Eat them raw. Just make sure that the source you are getting them from, read the label. In almonds, Mamra almonds are the best, which have less toxins. Yeah.
So, like we have been talking about fats and the lot. Now I want people to raise their hands कि हफ्ते में एक बार पिज़्ज़ा कौन खाता है? Only one. Oh, that's really nice. We're very good children here, because I know the youngsters surviving on Maggie and fries and burgers and pizzas.
So Priyanka, I will say, हफ्ते में एक बार पिज़्ज़ा खाना है. You must earn it. खाओ, but earn it. The other 6 days of the week, have your vegetables, have complex carbohydrate, eat your nuts, eat your protein, because without protein you will not get your energy.
So I have been given, I've been asked, so let us just go to our last section, which is a rapid fire. So what is a specific tea or herb that you suggest? A tea or herb which you like or suggest people?
Green tea mixed with chamomile tea.
Mixed with.
Yeah.
A spice that should be included in the food.
So seeing the obesity and diabetes cases, cinnamon.
So what is one very misleading trend that you see about nutrition and lifestyle?
That it's difficult to do.
That it's difficult to do?
Yeah, it's not difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite superfood?
Sleep.
So is it like you saw that probably like when you were a corporate you slept less and then you slept
Of course,
more?
so I don't drink coffee now, but I had, at that time I used to drink coffee, and I had a mug that said, sleep when you're dead, drink coffee. And look where it landed me.
I know sometimes. So what is your guilty pleasure, like a cheat meal, or what do you indulge yourself? Like
A little bit of cheese.
cheese.
Yeah. So
Oh,
once in a
that's
while I
nice.
have a little bit of
once
cheese.
in a while, so
Yeah.
that's a good thing
Yeah.
actually. There's it's already, so that is also very healthy. Unhealthy आप नहीं खाते कुछ?
No, see, milk and milk products for women specifically,
Yeah.
it can trigger cancer, because of hormonal issues.
So what is that myth or trend about immunity or about nutrition that you laugh every time about, which is going around? Any trend or myth जो everybody's is...
It's more like individuals coming up to you and saying, I am now very healthy because I've started running marathons. You're messing up your joints, you're causing oxidative stress because over-exercise will cause the inflammation levels to rise. And, marathoners get more cold, cough, flu because immunity is suppressed. So when they just look at me and they say, oh, we are very healthy and now I'm going to run, I've been doing half marathon, now I'll run full marathons across the world, and I'm like,
Yeah,
if
this
it
Iron
works
Man
for
and
them,
everything
God
is
bless them. Yeah, but it's
But that's not that's quite an extreme.
as per me, some people are doing well with it. Great.
So one, like you're a lot into research. So is there something which is really exciting in the research part? A lot of students here, something which is coming up in the immunity and the nutrition area, which you're excited about, कि इसमें काम हो रहा है, and I would like to know more about.
The role of natural immunity, specifically in cancer research, the role of natural immunity versus, triggering the immune system through immunotherapy. So there's a lot of work going on in that area.
But you already been doing.
Which is what I've been doing.
Already.
And the role of the gut. It's your second brain.
Yeah, the gut-brain relationship has been quite now talked about.
Yeah.
And your last question is, if you had a magic wand, what global habit you would change? कि वो एक habit सबका change करूँ कि generally health increase हो जाए. I think I know your answer.
Okay, tell me.
Sleep well.
Respect the earth. Please see the parallel. The more we degrade the planet, the more our health is declining. The clinical connection between being in nature and good mental health and lower inflammation levels, grounding reduces inflammation levels, reduces pain levels, and we are just ravaging the earth. So, you talked about, in the introduction, he talked about Kindness Practice Foundation, which is our foundation. We try to create awareness about mind, body, earth as being connected to each other. Yeah, so, if each person does a little bit in being responsible for their waste, being responsible for growing some greens. We live in a Bombay apartment. We don't have a balcony, but all our windows, I probably have about 500 plants. So I only let oxygen come inside. And in some of them you can grow herbs. In some of them you can grow lettuce, which you can eat. So it's without pesticides. There is small stuff, it doesn't take effort. So respect how nature heals. Nature is unhurried and it still heals very fast. We are part of nature. we will heal if we give it the right input.
Definitely. That was very deep and that was very thoughtful. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. And the floor is open for question and answers if audience has some questions.
Yes.
Can somebody give
There's one American motivational speaker, Louise Hay. She has written a book called You Can Heal Your Life. She says that whatever problem you're having, be it a chronic or anything, it is because of your thought process. So what's your take on that?
I agree with it. We've discussed it today. Trauma is caused by your thoughts. We will torment ourselves by negative thoughts. And Louise Hay was really great. She's no more, God bless her soul. And she's absolutely right in how the trauma manifests into the body as disease is an integral part of my healing as well. So I agree with that. And there is now, and in the time that she was alive, there was not that much scientific data. Today there is.
Ma'am, one more question. Many spiritual masters says that 4 to 5 hours of sleep is okay. And one more thing about water, they say that whenever you feel thirsty, that is the only right time to have water. So what's your take on that? Like it's
Okay.
There's so much confusion around it.
My take is two ways. First is, are you as enlightened as the spiritual masters? Because those who do true deep meditation are 0.001% of the population, and you will be able to make out when someone says, oh, I do meditation, from their body language, are they really calm or not? Not everyone can do meditation. It's the last limb of yoga. So first you've got to reach there. Okay? Reach there, make your mind so calm and your agitation levels low. So then 4 to 5 hours is fine. One. Yeah? Second, healthy people can adjust their life in terms of less water, less whatever. First, reach healthy. Are you healthy? Ask yourself that question. Are your reports healthy? Is your sleep sorted? Are you calm? Do people around you look at you and say, oh, he doesn't get triggered fast? Those are the signs. So when you are healthy, you make those decisions and you take those learnings. But first, get to that stage of being healthy. Right?
Like ma'am said, that put an alarm. So once you put an alarm and have the water, then you'll realize कि आप कितना, फिर आपको प्यास लगेगी. आप प्यास, you don't realize, you don't listen to your body after a while. तो आपकी body भी इतना stress नहीं करती है.
I'll add to that. There is something known as mindfulness where everybody thinks it's वो mindfulness है कुछ. Mindfulness is just being in the moment and recognizing that you're a subtle body person and not a gross body person. When you're a subtle body person, you're in tune with what's happening inward. So you will have a heightened sense of how much sleep you need, when you need to eat, what you need to eat, how much water you need to drink. Otherwise, when you become a gross body person, you're hurrying up from one task to the other. So it doesn't come into your mind because you're not being mindful.
Hi, good afternoon, Rachna ji. Thank you for the wonderful session and a lot of practical insights. So what I want to ask is, I see the world presently has this wellness world and an illness world. So it's very fascinating to me that you work directly with illness reversal and all. So, and wellness is like very positive and all good will happen to you, whereas this is like a death sentence and now you come back out of it. So how do you keep yourself from getting demoralized, right? Day to day meeting patients and somebody coming with like a lot of kind of a sense of failure. How do you, what is your mindset? How do you keep yourself from getting demoralized and still showing up? Yeah.
So first of all, there is no black and white wellness and illness. That's only on Instagram. Yeah. So you've got to remember that life is in the grays. Every healthy person will have a backstory, or yesterday or a week earlier would have felt unwell and then taken steps. We always have a trigger for being healthy, unfortunately, you know. My very simple premise whenever I wake up every morning is the choice I make. Do I want to go back to what the doctors predicted and be bedridden? Or do I want to stay healed, help other people, and stay gratified? It's very simple for me, because the suffering that I went through, it was enough for me to say, okay, no more, and I'm not looking back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One last question.
Yeah, so not a question actually, but a request. Since you are in a position that you have written so many books and people would listen to you because you have also done research papers and everything, you're very scientific, yet understanding the nitty-gritties of so many aspects. Whenever you meet a person into education or people who have the power to change something in education, kindly
That will give them a good breakfast or a snack. It's all possible. Let's connect offline, and please, I would be more than happy as part of our foundation to support you in the wonderful work.
the name of the foundation. Because kindness is usually thought of for people, but kindness towards ourselves
Yes.
is what we completely ignore.
Pranayams like Anulom Vilom. So you start with only one. Make only one change in your life. Start with Anulom Vilom, 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes before sleeping, with music. I have also given the kind of music that you can do, because when you are overthinking, then in an empty space, your thoughts will run amok. And so with the healing music, you allow the thoughts to come, and then you tell the thoughts that they are unwanted, and then you visualize them disappearing. Just 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night, and contact me 3 weeks later.
After that also it will not stop then, because I used to
this
do
first.
yoga, meditation every day.
Meditation nobody can do, only the gurus can do. So if you think you are doing meditation, you're not.
For 2 minutes at least I do.
So meditation, if you do for 30 seconds also, your overthinking reduces. But true meditation needs to be an experience that you grow to. It's not something that can be taught. Maybe you're talking about guided meditation. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, guests, for enlightening us on all these aspects of life, which we surely promise you not to keep it here only, but rather practice in our life or make us better at health. Right? Thank you so much once again. Let's have a round of applause for them. And we'll meet you again in the next session. Thank you so much, everyone.